What a beautiful morning. I mean, look at it. Is everybody energized in here, just like me? Yeah. What if we do this exercise? Everybody, please stand up. Yeah, you needed it, right? So let's try it again. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. What I'd like you to do is also introduce yourself to one another that's sitting at the same table with you. Is it my green or yellow arrow? Oh. So, if you've done that, then really nice people around your table, isn't it? So I'm here to talk about a hot topic. I like hot topics. AI. I mean, that's really not so hot anymore because it's been around for a while. But connecting that to your data strategy, I mean, that is a whole new, world we're talking about, right? What can we do? I've just understood that there's a problem putting up the deck, guys. We're just waiting for the technical go. Super. Thank you. A little about me. I'm no newcomer to this stage, and I love the CEO of this setup, Goran. Privately, he's got 3 daughters just like me, so I love it when he does everything possibly can to also promote women in tech and in leadership. About me, I have been working with data for as long as I can remember. I started with master data at Ericsson, and I think many of us have worked there. I moved over to Sony Ericsson, working with production data at 27 sites all over the world. I ended up at Telia for 8 years, doing the entire chief data officer concept selling to the top management. Why? What does it mean? Selling it to I remember especially with the CTO, Chief Technology Officer, because he was worried that I was taking his job. Got myself as appointed as Chief Data Officer at Telia for Eurasia, and then at Division X. I worked a bit with PwC. I realized very quickly that consulting was not my thing. Also nice to know. And now I've been at Nets as Chief Data Officer, working with payments, with payment data. I've been the chairman of PwC's Chief Data Officer Advisory Board, and with Gartner, both in the advisory boards for EIM and Chief Data Officer Advisory Board for a long time now. And I'm really happy to be here, sharing my journey with you. Oops, okay, guys. Seems like we have a problem still. I've also got I've been interviewed by several publications, most recently PMI, and I loved it because if any of you have taken that certification, it was not easy. I remember waking up for 3 months, in a row at 4 o'clock in the morning because I worked as well. So I would wake up early in the morning when my mind was fresh just to study, and I did the test. And I had a lady from Ericsson also doing the test with me, and it was quite challenging, really, because if you have, if you've been a project manager for several years, it doesn't mean that you're just going to get the test. It's like a driving test. Just learn it and answer the exam. It's not about your ways of working. Sorry, American style. Okay, super. So I'm at Nets. Nets is a payment industry. its headquarters in Copenhagen. We've got 3,500 employees in several European countries. And Nets really provides solutions, payment solutions, to financial institutions, to banks, to merchants, in helping their customers to have an easier tomorrow in several countries around Europe. And what we are very famous for is our security and stability platform that is incomparable. So we're here to talk about AI. Artificial intelligence, it has the potential to change several businesses. You know, whether we're looking at smart products and services, to better business data decisions, automated processes. It seems like it has the power to change everything, which is really why we should take notice, and we have an AI strategy or a data strategy incorporating AI into it. The technology that's needed today for AI, the platforms, you know, the processing capacity, the storage, the data storages, they're advancing, but also at the same time they're becoming quite affordable, which is probably, you know, AI. It's the right time to invest. However, a recent study done by McKinsey, published in HBR, showed that it's not really taking off at the pace that is predicted. And there's a lot of other challenges. One big one being cultural changes. So the time is right, but it shows that, you know, either companies are still working in ad hoc pilots or just focusing on one process. Yeah? If I go back to Nets, we've got 7 billion card transactions, 400,000 merchants. We are in a very unique position because we have data from banks, from corporates, and from merchants, and we are able to get insights not just about our customers, but beyond our customers as well. Which is why, so data has been around at Nets much before I was appointed as Chief Data Officer. But I thought I'd share with you how I structured it to encompass everything. And I had these 4 units. Big one, master data and data governance. And I know that Nicola is here today to talk about the data governance coach. Because even though data governance has been around for a long time, we still have the challenge, especially now when you're doing AI, you know, who does this data belong to? At Nets, I'm also happy to say that we have just embarked on a journey with Stibo Systems, with the MDM platform. By the way, something's not working because you don't see two boxes are blank, which it shouldn't be. But never mind. Besides master data is common platforms. And what I've done is in one area, I've got the data lake, the MDM, the automation tools. So I've just concentrated in common platforms, everything that I need platform-wise. Automation and analytics is another separate unit that is catering to the organization. And it depends. I think every company is differently set up. But at Nets, we have it all I'm within IT, and we are in IT, we're supporting the business with all their cases. So that's where we've got the analytics, we've got data scientists with us, working together with the business and supporting them. And then lastly, the data delivery, because sometimes the banks, since we're working with bank data, sometimes they want to have their data back. And we need to make sure that the data we hand over, their data, is both compliant, but also of the level of quality assured. So the data delivery team, really what it does is make sure, okay, is it visualization, is it reports, is it data delivery, packages? That is what the data delivery team caters to. And surrounding all of this is my data strategy. What do I want to do? How do I want to do it? How do we want to deliver? I think the way every company is set up it's quite different. The ways of working are quite different, because sometimes they are out in the business, and sometimes it's centralized within IT. At Nets, because it's the payment industry, we have really embarked on our fraud and detection track within AI. Because the need for fraud prevention, especially in cases where the card is missing or absent, has never been greater. Reducing fraud transactions is becoming increasingly challenging because you have the entire e-commerce boom. Cross-border payments have increased. And then, the spectrum of digital payments being offered, it's making it harder to reduce fraud in transactions. And that is why Nets, together with KPMG, has launched into an AI-powered payment fraud prevention solution, which on the long term is going to reduce fraud by 40%. So what is this solution really going to do for us? The solution, the Nets Fraud Ensemble, is going to work together with the fraud teams in identifying new patterns, comparing them with the existing patterns to be able to, in real time, highlight where a fraud's going to take place. This is very advanced compared to the current rule-based models that are the standard. So we're looking forward to this, just launched last week, and this solution will be offered to all issuers. I can't share everything about this case with you, but this is treasury cash optimizing. What I wanted to say here about this one is, because when you have the models in place, I think sometimes it becomes very challenging for management, for the people that have been working, to actually trust the model and let go, let the model tell you what it is. Because we have a case here where we've been working with the model and we need to verify it and we need to verify it, and sometimes you just got to say, let go, trust it, trust what the data is telling you. And that is typically, I see the lady smiling. I'm guessing you noticed that as well. And I'm sorry, but you can't see here, one of the most important things needed is transparency and trust in your data. Very important while doing AI. So like I said, at Nets, risk and fraud, we have embarked on a huge journey within this area. And with all the cases, all the cases that we're working with, data is clearly the cornerstone. So it doesn't matter how you set up your teams, for every case you have data. And what is key do I trust my data? Is it easily available? Because otherwise what I saw is the processing time, the data scientists are sitting down there and getting the data ready to run. So I think if you take a step back and look at what you have, help the organization in getting, whether it's AI ready or on the journey to AI. What we have also started, because we found that clearly there was a lot of discrepancies in our data. I mean, just like everybody else, you've got several legacies, and then the data is inconsistent. Sitting down there, old-fashioned, cleaning up the data would have taken very long. So we also implemented AI-led data quality, which just like speeds up the work. So your data scientists and the AI models are able to, you're able to push out your data to the organization faster. So I've put down, in no specific order, I've put down just points that I have been working with, because this is something that I'm working with currently. And that's why I think it is so much fun to stand here and share my journey with you. Business-led use cases. There are so many, there are so many cases in your organization. Everybody is working with, in some little pocket, AI. And it's quite important that you understand everything, all the cases that are ongoing in your company. Make sure that you're picking the right ones, but also that you have the business with you. Just curious, show of hands, how many are already working with AI? Yes? Okay, interesting. Yeah. I think also create a portfolio, because once you identify all the cases outgoing in the business, create your portfolio. Because you want to have cases here and now to show the business, but also something long-term, because the return of investment, that is really important. They want to see where's the money. So having some cases, but at the same time, putting the smaller cases together to be able to show value, share it with the business, that's super important. I also found that it's not always that top management kind of understand what you're trying to do. So evangelizing that bit is never wrong. It also helps you to get your funding, and also the ways of working, because like, for example, where I said it is so hard, if you have to always run on top and get your decisions and not trust the models that you are working with, it also makes your journey cumbersome. So another one that we working with is the agile ways of working, because agile is the new way of working. And I think it adds a lot of value when you are looking at functions like these, at teams like these, because with the first iteration, your AI model or the functionality that you're looking for is not there. You have to have several iterations before you are ready. So that experimental mind, a trial and error, which also takes away a bit of the fear factor of, we're going to fail here. So that it's a bit of a mindset as well. Cross-functional groups. Because I think if previously, when you only had the data scientist sit down there, do his magic and give you, it didn't really add much value. It's important today that you have the business, you have your analytic teams, you have everybody that you need sitting down together and putting the solution in place, or the problem that you are trying to address. It makes it easier to also anchor then your solution in the business. What it also does is, because then you have so many different people working together in different parts of the organization, it helps your overall evangelizing of the work that you are doing. So, for me, when we created our strategy a year ago, our vision and our strategy was completely different. What were we there to do? Today, a year later, we looked at our strategy and said, this is not relevant any longer. We need, what are we really doing? And that's also something that we see is quite changing. Your strategy it's need to be redefined all the time because things are happening out in the market. And what we want to do is provide access to qualified data. Because we see that we are sending data to the banks, we're giving the merchants back their data, we're giving the corporates back. We want to make sure that that data is of high quality. So it's very important. The whole master data journey is very important for us still. Clear ownership, democratizing analytical capabilities, because today you have tools, and I don't need to depend on specific data scientists, because let's face it, the data scientists, they are bloody expensive, yes. And they come, I'm sorry if any data scientists in the house, but you have a data scientist, you bring them in, they stay for 6 months, 1 year max, and then they're out of the building, and so the knowledge gone with them. So we at Nets, we've looked into analytical platforms that help. So you'd still need a skeleton staff of data scientists, but you are able to train the business in working with these platforms to predict and to get their own answers. And we want to become AI ready. So we're not there either. We are on our journey, but as a as a chief data officer and with my unit, it is important for me to make sure that the organization that wants to move in the direction of AI, we give them everything they need, quality data, the data is available, easily accessible to everybody. And that is my part of helping the organization with our AI journey. Lastly, as I said, I'm a mother of 3 girls, and I do everything possibly can to encourage girls in technology and also women in leadership. I am very fortunate to have companies like Eriksson, PwC, Telia, support me in that journey. The reason I am sharing this with you is because we're always looking for companies that want to be part of it. It's really schoolgirls from classes 7 and 9 who have to make their decision, whether to go for maths, technology, or whatever in college. So just helping them, inspiring them. So if there's anybody here that thinks you have a solution that you'd like to share with these youngsters, please meet me afterwards. That was what I had to share with you. Thank you.